Sam Hain. Thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it. What's that Sam Hain all about? Well, it is the beginning of November 2025, and I'd venture if I'd heard it less than 3 times, I didn't hear it all, but I heard it a lot. Somebody in some situation talking about how they hate it when people mispronounce Sam Hain. Sam Hain. Sam Hain. Anyway, the friendly neighborhood mail lady obviously does not mind, or else she doesn't know me very well. But she has delivered once again all the way directly from one of my absolute favorite publishers on God's green earth. That is SST, Short Scary Tales. SST Publications, or Publishing, SST. I love those folks. Paul Fry does great stuff at great prices and takes great care of people. But in the United Kingdom, SST Publications has delivered a book by one of my very favorite authors, that is Robert McCammon, and the book is called Stinger, a signed limited Traycased edition. Now, I have never received any Traycased books from SST, one of my favorite publishers on God's green earth, so I'm looking forward to that. But a lot of the benefits, I discovered SST 5 years ago, something like that. I don't remember exactly when. By looking up Joe Lansdale limited edition books, they published some. At that point, they had published some. And then I stumbled into a brand new book that they were publishing by Stephen Graham Jones, who I'd never read, The Only Good Indians, and the art, Giovanni, the artist, Anthony Giovanni, something like that. Sorry, my brain ain't that good. But anyway, the art was so stunning that it caught my attention. I read some people saying that the book was very good, so I bought it just because of that. But anyway, SST has done some great stuff, and they've been very affordable. Very, very affordable on their pricing. Now, this is a Traycased limited edition, so the price is a little bit higher, and stuff has happened over the years. Inflation, the prices have gone up a little bit, but they're still very, very great, and I'm still very happy with the pricing. For example, this one here, paying the freight from the United Kingdom, conversion rate $186.21, and we'll see, is it worth the stretch or not? A Traycased signed limited edition book. Other publishers out there like Subterranean Press sell signed limited edition books for $200 that don't have illustrations, or I've bought them from them that had illustrations on the end papers and nothing else for $200. So SST is still very, very, very competitive. And let's just stop the ado-ing and open it up and see what she looks like. Now, Stinger is one of Robert McCammon's more well-known books, and I said he's one of my favorite authors on God's green earth. But Stinger is a book that I haven't actually read. So I got to get on it. And we'll talk a little bit about what it's about and stuff like that. But I've got other copies of Stinger, which I'll show you a little bit here in a minute, once I get done showing you this. And we can do a little comparison if you like. But from Paul Fry, one of the cool things about SST Publications, a thing that some publishers do, and I appreciate it. It's a little special touch from the publisher that I get to keep with my book and enjoy. And here's what he wrote. Hi, Tim. I'm very grateful for your order. Enjoy. Take care, Paul. My good friend, Paul. So thank you, Paul. I appreciate little touches like that. So here's my invoice, and it's in pounds, 131.49 pounds. And open it up and see what we see. So a great big oversized box coming from the United Kingdom. And then our book, our package, it feels weird, so I'm interested to see what I'm feeling here. Wrapped in this foam, taped up, and a sticker on the front, SST. I love those little stickers. And this one still sticks, so maybe we can save it. for something else. But let me get this thing untaped because I'm looking forward to seeing what an SST Traycased edition book is like. I have not laid hands on one. I'm not the first to get it. There's been some on Facebook already in a group or two. And quite frankly, now that I think about it, I've looked at the book dust jacket artwork at a glance, knowing I'm getting one, but I don't even remember much about what people have said about the Traycased. Now you're looking at a publisher. One of the great things that makes great publishers great is how they protect what they ship. And that's not only responsibility, but it's good customer service. There's good customer service that says when things go bad, we take care of you. But another part of good customer service is making sure that you take steps to prevent things from going bad. And this is an example of a publisher who cares enough to try to make sure that the customer's happy up front without having to exercise good customer service on the backside. And that's what Paul Fry has always done, but this is an example of extra special steps being taken. And then once again, we have the book in a bubble envelope. One of these days I'll find the end. Oh, it's not a sticky one. Oh yeah, there's a sticky part, I think. Let's talk it through now. Use your words. Open it up and see what she'll look like. All right, now inside, it's a puzzle. What's she got? What's she look like? All right, now inside here we have the SST bookmark, and I've read probably 200 books, give or take, over the years using an SST bookmark. The same one over and over and over. It's well worn, but it's wrapped in tissue paper with more of those SST stickers. Now, for some reason, when I see these little round stickers, I think of the word escutcheon. And I don't even know if that's the way you pronounce the word, but I also don't know, is that the right application for the word? And if I'm wrong, I don't mind people just let me go on being wrong and looking like a dummy. But it's probably better if you corrected me and told me that I'm using a word improperly, and then I'll look less like a dummy on a regular basis. However, dummies can be entertaining people. So it's a catch and a 22. Now, my very first tray case from SST is here. And I don't know what all the details are, but let's talk about it a little bit. So if I lay this thing down, so it looks like leather. It's not leather. It's got a leather texture to it. It's got hot foil stamping on the spine. I'm assuming that's the back part there, as well as artwork hot foil stamped on the front. So if I were to lay this thing down, picture up, how do I open it? I don't know. So here, it's got what feels like a magnetic flap on the front. You pull up, it kind of is held down by something I'm thinking is a magnetic flap. I lift the lid, and there we go. So we got a top like this, a sort of a cigar style box with a built-in satin ribbon gimmick to help me pick it up. Now what I don't want to do here is pick this thing up and drop something because I'm holding them in the air. So I'm going to lower it just slightly to a chair that you can't see. I'm going to pull the string like Bela Lugosi on Plan 9 from Outer Space. Pull the string. So I'm pulling the string. You just have to take my word for it. And viola, there it goes. It is out. So let me show you this tray case first of all. We have this inner string here. The back is a paper. It's paper covered. A little bit of the sides feel almost like a fabric. I don't know. They're probably all paper, but you can see what it looks like on the inside. It looks good all the way around. So SST has done a great job with their tray case. And I like it. I like it a lot. It'll look good on the shelf. You won't see the book dust jacket artwork. And so I've always had I don't know, sort of a relationship between slip cases and tray cases. Typically, more fine editions, higher tiered editions are more liable to have a tray case than a slip case. A lot of times numbered edition books will have a slip case, and a slip case is basically a box that it slides into, top, sides, and back, but no front. So you see the front of the book slides in like that. You'll see the spine of the book and the artwork there. Where a tray case is a box that encloses completely the book. So when the book tray case is on the shelf, you don't see it. So it's a higher quality, fancier way of shelving a book, but you don't see the spine of the book. So what's better? I don't know. I'm glad there's a variety. So it's nice to have a variety. It makes everything okay. If a publisher wants to do different things with a book from time to time, fantastic. Now, that being said, sometimes, like for example, I wouldn't want every book in my collection to be in a tray case. But if some are, well, that's a neat, special, different sort of thing. Understand what I'm saying? Because I don't. Good. But here's our book inside the tray case, inside tissue paper. So he's making sure that when you put a book in a case of any sort, then put it in a box and send it to your friendly neighborhood mail person, that thing takes a lot of vibration and shuffling and bouncing and sometimes throwing and dropping and all that stuff. And so the book during shipping is liable to move around inside of a tray case. And that moving around inside of a tray case is also liable to cause damage to a dust jacket or the boards or the spine of the book itself. And that's not good. So publishers like SST Publications take steps to help make sure that that doesn't happen, that your book is protected. And so one of the things I would like to point out right off the bat, I told you Robert McCammon, one of my favorite authors, walking God's green earth. Well, there's a fellow by the name of Francois Vaillancourt. And I don't have to say one of when I talk about favorite illustrators. Francois Vaillancourt, my favorite illustrator that I know of who has ever lived. I love his artwork. I love the variety of artwork. And when I see his name attached to something, I'm instantly interested. He's also a writer. He sent me a short story. I did a review on this channel of a short story that he wrote, a nice little chapbook that he sent me as a gift. He signed it and everything, and it was a fantastic story. So at least one time in short story form, he is a great writer as well. I don't know what else he's written, and I don't know if his next thing will be good, but he is a great writer because he's written a great story, which is more than I can say. But here is the cover artwork for Stinger by Francois Vaillancourt. And let me take this dust jacket off here, stretch it out a little bit and show it to you. And the texture on here, it's hard to feel texture, but sometimes on these dust jackets from publishers, you'll see it be very shiny, and sometimes you'll see it be very dull, and you'll have a lot of textures, but this feels soft. It's a matte sort of a texture, but it's not rough. It feels sort of soft, almost as if you closed your eyes and you were rubbing your finger on a rubber or something like that. It almost feels that way, but it looks great. It feels great. So far, we got a great tray case, great artwork, and a great artiste on our book here. And then we got cloth covered boards, hot foil stamping on the front and on the spine. It's a thick book, Smith sewn binding. It's the good stuff. Built-in satin ribbon page marker, and look at here, these end papers, quality papers. It almost feels like what would it be? I don't know, thick like a construction paper almost. I don't know if that's a great description, but it's thick like that. And the paper in the books, the paper is always good, high quality, thick, acid-free paper. Feel it. You can tell the difference here between this and a trade edition or some other limited edition publisher who is not as good as an SST. But let's look at the limitation page. Look at the artwork, a beautiful limitation page signed by author Robert McCammon, as well as artist Francois Vaillancourt. My copy is number 214 of 500 copies available. Just beautiful, fantastic stuff. And I'll show you some of the other copies of Stinger that I have. But right now, up front, this is the best one. I haven't looked at the interior illustrations, and that's another thing that SST delivers on. Interior illustrations, as far as I know, in every one, at least all their modern books, the ones that I've been buying in the last 5 years or so, interior illustrations. These here are color, which I feel like is the norm for SST as well. I don't have a problem with black and white illustrations, but color costs a little bit more, and it can be considered an added feature as well. So let's just take a look at some of these interior illustrations by Francois Vaillancourt. For those of you keeping track, I think that was the second interior, if you don't count the signature page, which I don't, but maybe it's not fair to do so. But let's just look here at more of this Francois Vaillancourt artwork. He's supposed to be in Dayton, Tennessee. I think it's January the 6th at a thing called Jeff Con 1. It's a book, a small book convention that I'm very, very looking forward to going to, and very looking forward to meeting some good folks there, like Francois Vaillancourt, like authors that I really, really, really love. Philip Fracassi, Tyler Jones, Keelan Patrick Burke. I think Chris Panettiere is going to be there. I know Mitch Hull, making sure I said the right name right, Mitch Hull from Rapture Publishing is going to be there. And so I'm looking forward to meeting those folks, meeting Jeff Terry of the Jeff Word, and a lot of other people that'll be there that I know, and getting to meet guys like Mike Hughes. Get to meet Mike Hughes and his wife. I think his wife, I want to say Stephanie, but gosh, I hate to say the wrong name. I think his wife's name is Stephanie Hughes. Getting to meet them too again, friendly folks that I spent some time speaking with. Mike sent me a gift one time, so he's a great fella in my book. But anyway, fantastic edition from SST Publications. I love these folks. Paul Fry, I love this guy. Paul, I've never met you, and you're in the United Kingdom, and I'm far, far away. But I love you. I just fell in love with you. That's Axel Foley said that in, what did he say? Beverly Hills Cop. But anyway, there is my limited edition book. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. Now let me show you just a couple other copies. I won't hold them side by side because I just had surgery on this shoulder, and I'm not supposed to be lifting things heavier than a coffee cup on this right arm. But I ain't no baby, and that doesn't do anything. Anyway, I heard that one time also. Let me pull out. I'm talking. You're hearing a voice in the air. Some copies of Stinger that I have. So with Stinger, I have only one limited edition copy, and that comes from Subterranean Press, and they did a good job with it. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad I got it. They did a good job with it. It's a great dust jacket artwork by, who's the dust jacket artiste? Probably, who is it? Who is the guy that did all the artwork for Robert McCammon's stuff with Subterranean Press? It is, well, this one is Les Edwards. Okay, so Les Edwards 2015, and there's the dust jacket artwork. They gave us, and this one retailed back then anyway, retailed for $80 back then, 2015. Cloth covered boards, hot foil stamping on the spine, nothing on the cover there. Smith sewn binding, and this one had a couple, so it's signed, limited edition, limited to 1,000 copies. It had some interior illustrations on it, on the pages. I just have to find them. It had some. I see two that I can tell on the ends, and they're good ones. Two good interior illustrations on glossy paper there, and there's another one there. So they did a very, very good job. No complaints. Now, Subterranean Press's prices are considerably higher these days. I told you about buying some $200 books from them in the last handful of years that weren't illustrated by my standards. No interior illustrations other than the end papers. And then I have also a couple of trade editions of Stinger. So let's look at those. We have the UK first edition, first print, UK trade hardcover. In the United States, it was first published in softcover, but by Pocket Books. But there was a book club edition by Pocket Books, and this one, I can't remember. I think this one came out slightly before the UK edition, but it was by a photo finish. I don't remember. I'm sure Hunter Goatley knows. He could tell us if he ever watches this video. But I liked the hardcover. It had the cool illustration from Pocket Books in a hardcover form. It's a book club edition, so it has no price on the dust jacket. It's got no number line or anything like that, but it was a must-have. Robert McCammon signed these for me in person at Alabama Booksmith at different times. There's an example. He signed that for me there. Alabama Booksmith at events where he was present. So that is Stinger by Robert McCammon, SST Publications, and illustrated by Francois Vaillancourt. It doesn't get better than that. It can get as good. There's publishers out there that I love dearly, great ones, and there are authors out there that I love dearly. But this is the benchmark. So other folks may be able to do good stuff too, great stuff too. I love SST among others, and I'm glad to be able to continue to get books from great publishers like SST Publications. With that being said, I can think of no more lies to tell, so thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it, and say la vie, baby. Doo-doo.